students and friends, fellow students, girls and boys. Our country celebrates this year the 21st anniversary of the glorious Throne Day. Come and join us to celebrate the passing of more than 2 decades that mark the reign of His Majesty King Mohammed VI. How are we going to celebrate that? Let's remember all the stations in the life of Morocco. More than 20 years achievements that have changed the face of our country and allowed us to be on the path of progress. We learn lessons from the past achievements so that we engage in building the future. Community development, politics and justice, advancement of family conditions and human rights, fighting extremism and promoting justice, energy-saving projects, transportation, navigation, and even high-speed train Burak. Stop at every station to find out the secrets of the rational policy of our King on this glorious occasion.
From the first speech of His Majesty the King to the people in 1999, in which he described the social situation of the Moroccan people, the hopes of large groups of Moroccans grew for a better life, to get a job and have decent living, see social disparities disappear, achieve equality between people, improve the lives of citizens by providing help to needy populations and poor areas, in caring for maternal and child health and guaranteeing education for all. The National Initiative for Social and Economic Development and other socio-economic institutions such as Mohammed V Foundation for Solidarity, the Hassan II Fund, the Coronavirus Fund and others have improved the lives of more than 10 million needy people. 50% of them live in rural areas. Those institutions have worked on providing drinking water, electricity and helping those facing geographical isolation and hardships, empowering women, building centers for the elderly, the needy and those with specialized health problems, encouraging social housing and income-generating activities, providing basic training socially and professionally for youth in all technical fields, and betting on male and female youth potential to carry the torch in the future. Thousands of beneficiaries in the urban and rural areas have overcome deprivation and social exclusion. Furthermore, the country made it an obligation for banks to provide loans with the lowest interest rates for young people and small businesses, and to give priority to the human capital of youth as a factor in contributing to the development and the comprehensive reform in the country, even in villages and cities. Let's consider the Moroccan Family Code that protects women and children and which has organized marriage, divorce and alimony affairs. It has also made laws between men and women on the basis of joint responsibility, effective relationships, justice and caring for children. Since the family is the nucleus of healthy society, the Family Code is a model to be followed by our neighboring brothers to build a successful society.
The new era that marked the rule of His Majesty King Mohammed VI formed a break with the past with important decisions that changed the image of Morocco, even for Moroccans themselves. Look at the Equity and Reconciliation Commission, which has folded the page of the past, the gross violations of people's rights, and concerned itself with remedies and financial compensation for the affected ones. The 2011 Constitution was established in order to consolidate democracy in the country and guarantee many reforms. In this way, Morocco managed to overcome the storms of the Arab Spring and open space for freedom of expression and opinion. The public media has a great share in enriching the political debate and reducing tension compared to a number of countries that resemble us. The Consultative Council for Human Rights has become a national council ruled by laws and goals. The Amazigh became an official language along with the Arabic language by the power of the Constitution.
The rehabilitation of the religious field. Morocco achieved a significant leap in boosting the religious field and spiritual values with a view of spreading a culture of tolerance and coexistence with all religions living in peace and tranquility. Thus, a number of institutions have been created. For example, Mohammed VI Foundation for African Scholars and Mohammed VI Institute for the Training of Imams, Male and Female Guides, scientific councils, TV and radio channels. All this is done as a strategy to reform the religious field and combat all forms of extremism, inciting terrorism and violence in the name of religion. The coronavirus crisis, thanks to the royal initiative that gained admiration inside and outside for measures taken to face the deadly pandemic, our country was one of the pioneering countries to raise awareness, spread means of prevention and precaution, production of materials and devices capable of facing the pandemic, and giving the human capital priority and the attention needed.
During the reign of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God glorify him, the internal production tripled thanks to big project attracting important investment in the opening up of Morocco to the world. The political stability, economic recovery, independence of judiciary, and the opening of opportunities to foreigners is much the same as Moroccans seeking jobs and ownership. This has granted Morocco the economic continuity, which is characterized by equality and continual growth, and gaining the confidence of customers, a matter which has allowed Morocco to improve its ranking among developing countries. Here we mention, for example, the factories of auto industry, aircraft parts, and the Mohammed VI Satellite 1 and 2, with numerous partners from Europe, America, China, Russia, India, and many African countries. Morocco has given a big importance to the tourism sector and brought more than 12 million tourists a year to become the most attractive country in Africa. And this is why it carried for ancient cities, air and sea navigation, highways, railways, such as high-speed trains, and even arches and bridges to make the tourism more attractive.
Morocco has been concerned about renewable energy and built the largest solar energy plant in the world in Ouarzazate Nord 1 and 2, and the largest wind energy complex in Tarfaya and other cities. Thus, Morocco changed from an importing country of energy to a producer to cover 42% of its needs. In such a way, it also contributes to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and promoting environmental protection, and the COP22 conference in Marrakesh is the best example. The same concern has been shown for water resources from the dam policy. Morocco reached the production of 19 billion square meters of drinking water from 40 dams. His Majesty King Mohammed VI promised to provide drinking water, protect us from floods, and create attractive sites in nature, as it will contribute to reviving the economy and attracting tourists.
What mostly characterized the new rule of His Majesty King Mohammed VI at the level of foreign policy is the strong return of Morocco to the African Union in 2017 and the setup of partnerships and cooperation agreements with some sub-Saharan countries. Especially the ECOWAS group as an economic power, Morocco applied to join the group. At the same time, Morocco provided important assistance to support a group of countries, for example, those facing the Ebola epidemic and the coronavirus pandemic. Morocco has thus become an important force for managing crisis wisely and tactfully. Morocco showed a flexible and intelligent diplomacy in diversifying the partners according to the country's economic and political interests. And His Majesty stressed on more than one occasion the sovereign decisions of Morocco based on the freedom to choose and the freedom to make the right decision. His Majesty said, Morocco is free in its decisions and choices, and it is not protected by anyone. In conclusion, we all say that the face of Morocco has changed, thanks to the wise vision of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, which is reflected in comprehensive plans for social, economic, and political development that resulted in concrete achievements that put Morocco on the path of advancement and progress. Congratulations to Morocco, to its leader and king on this glorious national occasion, which is precious to all Moroccans.